that leads them out. Just one win from their last 4 matches. That was against Sheffield. They've had losses to the big 3, Wigan, Bradford and St Helens in recent weeks. So they need to turn things around. 1 Aussie, David Bouvang, 1 Kiwi, Martin Moana, and 3 Pacific Islanders, Moni, Tuolangi and Umanga. There are the Pacific Islanders making up 3 of the backline positions. Umanga at fullback, Tuolangi on one wing, Moni on the other. Bouvang, a former North Queensland Cowboy and Gold Coast player. Dio Powell, a Welsh international. The halves are very nippy, I'm told, Pearson and Dean. Harrison leads the way, almost 450 first-grade performances for the number 8. He is the captain. And number 21, Jackson. He's a former Great Britain second rower. The coach is John Pendlebury, who did his apprenticeship at Wigan. As the Raiders make their way out, still 7 internationals in the squad. No Laurie Daly, no Brett Mullins today, but some familiar names in the side. The flags are waving already as we check the line out for you. Dagus at the back, Lightning and Boyle on the wings. Croker back in the starting 13 for the first time this year. Wiki alongside him, and Burnham in for Laurie Daly. And in the front row, it's DeVico, Brittis and Hetherington. A handy back 3, Kennedy, Ferner and Clyde. The coach, the one and only, Mel Meninga. Mike Umanga gets things underway. The first round of the Visa Cup, and it is Luke DeVico. Poor start on defence. Great start, though, by the attacking side. The Canberra Raiders and Royston Lightning already 5 metres inside the Halifax territory. Joining us sideline today is former Canberra Raider Brent Todd. Welcome back to the old stamping ground, Brent.
Yeah, well, it's great to be back here, Greg. I haven't been here since my playing days, and I tell you, I got that spine-tingling feeling when I walk onto this ground. It's a great ground, and it's in fine condition. We are in for an exciting game of football today, as the Raiders have already started so well. And if anybody thinks the Raiders are going to get beaten, think again, because the Raiders today will Bolton. I have to say that for the next
Raiders. Very close to the line already, and it could be a great start for them. It is! Well, Brent Todd, you picked it. Talk about Bolton. They are in their first set of 6, and the Halifax Blue Sox have been, well, set back on their heels, I tell you. Hetherington bursting over. This is from the kickoff, Gary Freeman.
This is great work. Great, but it's great work by DeVico. Just they try to take him up high, try to put him on his back, and didn't he show some speed for a big man? DeVico, I tell you, Umanga does a great job there. He had it to beat him, and he was away laughing. But other than that, the Canberra forwards are just going for it. You see here, Brett Hetherington going for the try. Again, players going low, but he just shows enormous power and strength to get over there, and Brian Grant right on the spot to award the try.
4 points to 0. Another look at it here. Oh, I don't know what was going through the minds of the Halifax players, but they were asleep from the kickoff on defence. So Brett Hetherington, he scores the try, his second for 1997. 8 points now, nearing a century of matches for Canberra. He will be delighted with that start. And David Ferner is about 13 metres in from touch. He'll try and add the extras. Ferner, 62% for this year. This time, though, he's pushed it across the face of the goal. So, no extra points, but a great start. It's 4 points to 0. Brent Todd, what a start.
Yeah, good stuff, and I'm sure the forwards, the Raiders forwards will try and dominate, and really soft defence there from Halifax early on. Their coach won't be happy with that.
Coach John Pendlebury.
Wait for the whistle, please, David.
He played 2 years for Halifax, as well as 6 for Wigan and 6 for Bradford.
Yep.
Now it is the Canberra Raiders with the restart. Opportunity now for them to regroup. Carl Gillespie plays it about 11 metres out from his own line. Here's the skipper, big Carl Harrison. He's going to lead from the front today. He'll need to get them back on track. This is Michael Jackson, 6 caps for Great Britain, the second rower. Better stuff now, but big defence also. DeVico really drove into Carl Gillespie. So one out stuff at the moment by the Blue Sox from Halifax. Back to the halfback Dean. He gets the kick in. Royston Lightning takes it about 21 metres out from his own line. He's been in great form, Royston Lightning.
He certainly has been in great form. That's good defence there by Halifax side, the Red Sox. The Blue Sox, I should say.
Well, they're in maroon jumpers. I guess you're close.
Well, I was pretty close, wasn't I?
12. Hey, go away, Green. Out here, lad. 12. Quick chat, please, man. Mate, we don't want the swinging arm. Hey, you swung the arm, man. It's all right. Beg your pardon? It doesn't matter, mate. You're still going to swing the arm. We don't want it in the pitch.
No wonder Brian Grant, they're asking for that explanation from that player. Baldwin, couldn't understand him. I don't think there was really much in this tackle. I think this is where it comes in now. Oh, it's just a little bit of a facial there, you might say.
And really, they're playing into Canberra's hands if they're going to go in with those swinging arms, because they're not hurting anybody, and it just gives Canberra another set of 6.
Good field position to start the set with. Already inside the Halifax territory. Priddis with the tap out to DeVico. Taken by Rowley, and over the top was Harrison. They drive him back towards the halfway mark. Priddis waits for it again. The try scorer, Hetherington, looking for a gap just wide of the ruck. It soon closed there. Now it's Burnham. Ferner out wide. Great ball to Nagas. Ken Nagas puts a foot on the pedal, gets through a pretty ordinary tackle at the back, and Kenny Nagas is in for another one. Oh, they're running hot early on here at Bruce Stadium. The Canberra Raiders, they've scored 2 tries in the first 5 minutes. 8 points to 0.
Oh, great work once again, the Canberra Raiders. Not really worried about getting tied up in any mess. There's a great ball by Burnham here. Runs to the line, drops it in short by Ferner. Oh, terrific pace here by Nagas. I thought Umaga had him covered. Comes up with a pretty easy missed tackle there. And Nagas goes in for the second Canberra Raiders try.
And just look for Ruben Wiki on this replay now. Ruben Wiki takes out the player. Just watch him here. He's the decoy runner. Holds the defence up. There he goes. And that's what opened the gap up for the Raiders out wide. And I think they're going to be too strong in the backs.
Well, the early signs suggest that one. Nagas in for his second try. What a season he's having. The New South Wales and Australian representative. Probably his first touch of the football in this match, and he's in for a try. Ominous signs for Halifax here in the World Club Challenge as Ferner moves in. 11 in from touch. It's waved away again. So the radar is offline early on as far as the goal kicking goes, but nothing wrong with the try scoring department.
Yeah, that was a great set of 6 from the Raiders forwards too. They're paving the way, holding on to the ball. If you complete your sets of 6, what I'm trying to say, then this back line will finish it for you. But really, once again, soft defence from this English side.
Of course, the Raiders are without 2 of their big guns in the back line, Laurie Daly and Brett Mullins. Rowley at dummy half.
I'd say they're bigger than big guns, mate. They are cannons, those 2.
Tuolangi plays it in front of his uprights. Now this is Harrison, makes it to the 30, but gets the pass away to Umaga. He looked for support, but it was good defence by Royston Lightning. The Halifax Blue Sox, this is better stuff, and it's the second row. Michael Jackson makes it to halfway. A rare touch of the football inside the Raiders territory for Halifax. Rowley, they have big raps on this man.
5 tackles.
He's only 22, already played 1 test for England. Dean,
In front of the kicker, man.
midfield bomb. Boyle waits for it. They allow it to bounce. Almost giving the football to the Blue Sox because it was the final tackle. In the end, it goes into touch.
There for the change over. Please play it here. Ball here. Just wait till I get back. I'll give you a call. Wait up. Wait.
Yeah, we see this a lot now in the Super League games where the defending side will let the ball bounce on the ground, then wait for the opposition to take it to finish off that tackle so they do get the ball back again. I think sometimes you really got to take another option and catch the ball and take the tackle for your team.
Well, now it's the Raiders going wide again. It's out wide as Ferner, back to Burnham. Ruben Wiki. Wiki, the inside pass to Royston Lightning. Tried the change of pace, the old goose step almost, but it didn't come off. Now it's Ben Kennedy.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about Ricky Stewart having a big one out there. He's already dictating terms. He's doing all the talking right down here on the side. And I'm telling you, I'm that close to them, I might as well be out there playing. Ricky is telling everyone where to go, directing them. He's playing a fine, captain's not.
Well, this is Clyde. Brent Todd talking about a comeback. I don't think I heard that, did I? Burnham, the inside pass to Nagas, the try scorer. There's a big gap there. He needed someone on his hip. It wasn't there. And so he took the tackle on the final tackle now. Stewart, the long ball over the top. It's been knocked on and towed ahead by Halifax. The referee will come them back, bring them back for the...
Halifax, please.
hand over it.
You got to mark
A mistake on the final tackle, the knock-on to be played. They look dangerous again, the Raiders.
They certainly do out wide. They are catching Halifax out quite easily. The problem is when you have a slide defence, if you have guys going through like Ruben Wiki taking out those players, you will come up short of numbers. But isn't it nice to hear a referee, Toddy, saying, bring back that ball, please?
Yes, well, I'm glad he's not speaking to someone like you. He probably would have copped a mouthful.
You want to worry about your own game.
We'll get back to this game. And it is Halifax 10 from halfway.
I think Halifax, if they're going to try and get and match it with Canberra, they've got to go wide early on the tackles. Canberra not really chasing at all. I think that will benefit them in there, especially in their attack. It's a great kick.
Clearing kick. And Lightning will pick it up inside the in-goal area. Oh, got out of it. No problem whatsoever. In the end, he was taken there by the number 4, Asaramoni. Nagus allowed to offload to DeVico. He got it away to Kennedy. Now they've got some numbers over on the far side. Croker starting to warm up. He got it over here to David Boyle. And Boyle's going to race away. They're not going to catch him from there. From one end of the field to the other, David Boyle will put it down underneath the black dot. And that's 3 tries in the opening 10 minutes to the Canberra Raiders. I'd like to have a look at the final pass. It could be turned a line ball, but the points are on the board. 12 points to 0.
Oh, they are just devastating from broken play again. This guy here, Nagus, gets out of one, drops the ball. This is a great ball by DeVico. That ball there, I thought, looked a bit forward too. This is Croker. Oh, that is about half a metre in forward. Half a metre forward, that ball. But anyway, now they pay for the try there. He's only been back for a couple of games as Boyle as he goes virtually nearly underneath the post.
12 points to 0. Let's have a look at this final pass again. Croker, he was drawing the last line of defence. He knew he had Boyle unmarked on the outside and, well, looked to be a half a metre forward, almost in front of you, Brent Todd.
Well, it was right in front of me, and as much as it hurts me to say that was a forward pass, but it doesn't matter because the points are on the board and Canberra are hot.
Well, I think it does matter to the Halifax side. I think the linesman should have picked that up. He was in line running down the field there, Toddy. It's a little bit disappointing because Halifax had defended well for the first 3 tackles of that start.
Well, in effect, really, there was no need for Boyle to overrun Croker because he was unmarked. Line breaks at the moment. Canberra 4-0, and they've managed to score 3 tries. It was converted by Ferner from right in front, as you would expect. Harrison got it over to Bouvang, and the former Cowboy from North Queensland is tackled.
Yeah, I was talking to Mal Winninger a little bit earlier before the game, and he said one thing that his team has worked on is their defence, and really they are muscling up here in defence and putting in some big hits. And you'll see the Canberra side, when they get a little bit of a lead, they'll play with a lot of arrogance and start pushing the pass and really trying things because they know that they're going to win this game. I think we're in for a big scoreline.
Up over halfway. That's Michael Jackson. Put it through the hands, Moana. We haven't seen much of him. Now it's out to Budayo Powell. And Powell had to pop it out the back door to keep it alive. Pearson linking up with Umunga. He's taken DeVico over the top and Ferner underneath. Final tackle coming up. They go to the short side. Moana with the grubber kick off the legs.
Still 5 and last.
It's still 5 and last. It wasn't played at, according to the referee.
Yeah, I thought Boyle played at that ball. Dean, you're saying it's just a ricochet off the boot there, but definitely thought he stuck his foot out there to try and stop that ball going over the line.
So maybe a couple of calls going against Halifax at the moment. Right under pressure, the visitors are. That time, 3 or 4 of them are in there to drive DeVico back inside his own half. Kennedy. What a season Ben Kennedy's having, the leading try scorer for the Canberra Raiders. 9 tries. Now it's Stewart. Just directing the traffic. Croker. Inside pass to Nagus. Ken Nagus with the fullback to beat. Got it over to Boyle. Boyle went without it, though. A let-off there for Halifax. Every time Nagus comes into the back line, there is something special about to happen.
Oh, how scary is that when you turn around? This bloke comes in from the back line. A great inside ball here. And once again, catching that sliding defence. And I thought Boyle was away for all money. Great ball there by Croker. Nagus does a great job here. Watch this, in and away. Gets the ball around them. Oh, There was no one in front of him to stop him scoring another try.
Yeah, and it's one thing having a guy. That's the big thing about the Raiders, having someone like Ricky Stewart.
Outside prop, please, Carl. Outside foot, Carl. That's better.
He's got so many options, hasn't he? I'm just trying to work around the ref there, boys. He's got so many options really in his game, and you know, that face pass, he can cut out players, he can do what he wants. He's a little genius.
Ciramoni plays it. Now it's Umaga.
Stand up again, no hands.
To the short side they work. Michael Jackson. And he's been pretty impressive. He likes to take the ball forward, Jackson. They need plenty of that from his fellow Blue Sox team members. The inside pass, but the Raiders read it pretty well. 5 from halfway. Rowley at dummy half. Pearson, the 5'8", looking for his outside men. No way of piercing the defence there. Baldwin, the second row, was standing out wide, but they read that pretty well. And now the kick finds touch. So they completed the set of 6 on that occasion. I guess their coach, John Pendlebury, will breathe a sigh of relief.
Carl? Carl? Are you familiar with the downtown situation from the play the ball? Just be a bit careful of that. Don't go past the play the ball. Yeah, from the kick. Don't go past the play the ball before he plays it. I'll try and help you.
Well, Dean puts in a great kick there, but I think in that situation there, Canberra players were really harassing him, and I think what they should do is let the ball out a bit wider, Greg. I think they would have got him on the left-hand side because there was no one there in defence for Canberra. They've gone all chasing the kicker. I think they should try and run on that last tackle.
Well, now it is the Raiders, about 22 out from their own line. On attack, and Ruben Wiki got away from a couple. Still going is Ruben Wiki. Great run by the Kiwi international.
I'm glad he didn't score a try there because I wouldn't be able to go through all the players that missed him.
Royston Lightning waits for it at dummy half. Ferner, big line up out to the left. The inside pass pays off again. Ben Kennedy with a bit of room to move. Kennedy got away from 1, 2. What a try! Ben Kennedy underneath the black dot. That's the 4th try to the Canberra Raiders. 18 points to 0. Simple stuff in the end. Terrible defence, but Ben Kennedy moves into double figures now. That's his 10th try for the season.
On the defence of the Halifax side, you know, a little bit disappointing. We're going right back now here through to Ruben Wiki. He pushes off about half a dozen of the side here. And look, they're just falling off tackles that they should be making. I don't know whether it's that travel time in the air from England to here that's really put them off their game here today, but some of their defence, you see big Carl Harrison going in to try and slow it down. But again, Ricky Stewart directing traffic, another inside ball. If you do slide in defence, you've got to have cover from the other side. And he's just pushing away tacklers as he goes over for the try.
Under the black dot.
Hey, come to me later on, mate, when we've got a break. I reckon I talk a load of crap anyway.
No comment there.
Thanks, David.
Wide for sound. Brian Grant, the referee. And from right in front, David Ferner adds the extra 2. So it is now 20 points to 0.
And Halifax are making a change. Chris Chester's going on for Martin Moana.
Well, I don't know which players that he was talking about there, Brian Grant, but he does try and help the players throughout the game, which is great to see referees doing nowadays. As Toddy said, I think Toddy would have said something about that scrum to get the ball in.
Missed tackles at the moment. Halifax have fallen off 10 compared to Canberra's 2. That's telling the story at the moment. Now this is Carl Gillespie, the front rower. Trapped about 15 out from their line again. It's important for the Blue Sox to regain some composure here to complete another good set of 6. A lot of pride on the line here for Halifax.
Well, that's one thing that Halifax have to do. They have to control the ball for the set of 6, get a good go forward and get a good kick and chase, and they're just not doing it. They're really pushing the pass, playing catch-up football and just playing as individuals and dropping the ball like that.
When you think about the history of the game, Halifax have been around since 1895. That's when the clubs in the northern part of England broke away from the rugby union, as it was called in those days. So they've been around for a heck of a long time. 2 championships in 1906-07 and 64 and 65. Possession at the moment going Canberra's way, 73%. That's why they have this handy lead at the moment, 20 points to 0. Time in their own half, Halifax 59% in their own half, which suggests that Canberra are very capable of scoring from inside their own half, like they've done on a couple of occasions. Sloppy handling by Canberra, and now Halifax have it. So they've won 2 championships. They've had 5 Challenge Cup victories, and of course they've had a long association with Australian coaches in particular. Steve Sims, John Dorahy, Ross Strudwick, Graham Eadie, and the current Bulldogs coach from Canterbury, Chris Anderson, was there in the early 80s as well.
Stand up.
Couple of metres inside the Raiders' territory. Now it is Halifax trying the inside pass, but it doesn't pay off for them. Gillespie tackled.
I think Halifax have got to go the left-hand side here. They come right, but on the left-hand side, there's no Canberra players whatsoever.
Dio Powell.
Look at that left-hand side there. They've got to go wide. Even on the last tackle, they should have a look running the ball. Once again, they're putting the kick in. Oh. They thought he was going for a line out, Dean.
Out on the full.
But see, the option there is the player, Dean, should have had some players outside calling the ball, because there was plenty of room to move on that left-hand side. Canberra will not move up whatsoever.
Errors, 3-2.
Carl, give us a hand, please, Doug. 1 on 6, I'll keep helping as much as I can, man. 1.
Ferner, ranging wide over on the far side. Critis, about 8 metres inside Halifax territory. Long ball, Croker. Got on the inside of his man. Here's Nagus again. He's going to have too much space. Nagus is in for a double. He'll run around and put it down pretty close to the black dot, just to the left of the uprights in the end. 24 points to 0. Well, it's turning out to be a real score-a-thon here at Bruce Stadium, and we've just gone past the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, once again, Ricky Stewart directing traffic. Nice long ball there, but the tackling in around the middle there. Jackson missing a tackle, and too much pace as Nagus got for Umaga. He might have scored 5 tries for his Halifax side a few years ago, but watching tries go past him again.
Yes, he's had plenty of work to do at the back, Mike Umaga. It was all started there when Croker managed to get on the inside, get the hands free, and Kenny Nagus, very deceptive runner. It looks as if the defence is going to get to him. Then all of a sudden he puts the foot on the gas and he charges away. So Nagus gets a double today. That's his 3rd for the year. And there's a real huddle in goal at the moment. Brian Grant just waiting for Ferner to try and add the extra 2, and the soul searching goes on.
Wave time back on if I had it.
No mistake from there. What about the scoreline now? 26 points to 0. Canberra, the Raiders, over Halifax.
Yes, that little man, Ricky Stewart, is controlling things out there, but I think Melbourne knows that this English side, they're pretty strong on the forward, so the ball is always going to go wide out to their classy backs, Canberra. When you've got speed like this, speed to burn, you've got to use it. And they certainly are doing that today, Canberra, and doing it with class.
So 5 tries to the home side. Umaga turns it back on the inside. 26, Richard Marshall is out there for a taste of the football from the interchange bench.
Yes, and he's replaced Asia Mona. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm pretty sure I did.
Pick you up on it.
It was a good try anyway, Toddy.
Yeah, thanks very much, you blokes.
For Eddie Tuolungi. He played it. Now it's back to Marshall again. Rowley at dummy half. Picks up Gillespie. He's about 8 metres inside Canberra territory. Rowley with the kick. Nobody at the back. So a bit of pressure on here. Is it going to go dead? No. Yes! Now, Brian Grant might want to have a look at this one. He does.
Woody, have a look at it. Have a look at it, Woody.
David Boyle almost wishing the ball to go over the dead ball. So the video referee called into play for the first time. Chris Ward in control of it today. No real pressure on Boyle here. He had a look over his shoulder, could see that he had a bit of time to move and play with this ball.
I think the ball goes dead, Greg. right on the line. That's
touch and go, but in the end, it was well left.
It was well left. Like you said, Boyle leaves it there, but good chase there through the Halifax side. Jackson, I think, came through, trying to put the pressure on them.
So no try.
Yeah, thanks for your help, mate.
Had a little knock on.
Knock on. No.
So the Raiders coughing up the football inside their own half. And this will give Halifax their best opportunity so far in the match. They are desperate for points. Deans puts it in, takes it out. Over it goes to Pearson, having a dart on his own. Taken by his opponent today, Jason Burnham. Umaga at dummy half, having a run. Turns it back on the inside to Bubang. Getting very close to the line now. Desperate defence there.
2 tackles.
Dean looking for runners on the far side. Over it goes now. This is Dio Powell. Powell taken. Better stuff by Halifax. They're down by 26 points to 0, 10 metres out. Dean, big line up out to the left again. This time it's Pearson, shows it on the inside, eventually turns it infield to Umaga up from fullback. He was taken at a good tackle there by Ferner. Across the face of the uprights and they keep it alive. This is Gillespie now. He's tackled by Stewart and also Croker. Rowley at dummy half. Dean kicking for the corner. Lightning is back there for the Raiders. They're coming through on him and it seemed to touch. The player touched the post over there. The try line post. What are they going to do?
Have a look at that one. Can you talk to Woody? Can he understand you? He can't hear me. Tell him what we're looking for.
I think the ball's gone back to me from Halifax to hit the corner post before it stranded the ball.
Touch judge telling Brian Grant that he feels the player has touched the corner flag. Knockback okay so far. Wiki didn't control it. But the ball hit the post, so it's out of play.
Who did it come off, though? Hey, who did it come off? Okay,
Waiting for
so
the decision.
Goal line drop out. No try, but we're going to goal line drop out, are we? All right. Back here, boys. Let's come off here, fellas. Goal line, come off here, fellas. Thank you.
No try. Yes, the ball hit the corner flag before Halifax could get it down.
Come off Canberra.
That's a great decision there by the linesman there. He knew what happened straight away. So the ball touched the corner flag. And then Ruben Wiki knocked on at the same time before the ball went out.
Ricky Stewart. Goal line dropout. Umaga back towards halfway. 22 is Carl Gillespie.
Check, please, David. Keep the talk going.
It's a pretty good field position again for the Blue Sox. Ferretti, Tuolangi.
Give us a heat hand, Luke. Drop your mate, please.
Rowley at dummy half.
Talk going, Kenny.
Dean looking for runners and he finds Jackson.
3.
Dean. Pearson. Goes down a couple of players, bringing Umaga in from fullback. And Dio Powell, the Welsh international.
Have that play on. Play on. Still
Lost it.
Play on.
Play on is the call. It came off the boot. And Umaga driven back in the tackle. 18 metres out from the line. Inside the Canberra red zone. Harrison. Big Carl. Takes it to the 10-metre mark. Final tackle coming up now. Dean, they're going to run it. Pearson, they go wide, and that's a good tackle over on the far side. Ruben Wiki just came in and shut the movement down. The second rower, Baldwin, was ranging wide, but he had nowhere to go.
There's a lot of sides try and get on the outside of Ruben Wiki, but he just lines you up and says, see you later. Look at the drive from the legs, takes him down. That's a tremendous tackle.
Yeah, it's all about timing, isn't it? There used to be a player here called Dean Lance who could tackle like that. It's all about timing. If you connect at the right time, you'll always drive them back.
Royston Lightning. Ferner.
Luke Prentice there on the sideline with a little bad cut on his right eye.
And Simon Wilford's gone on for him.
So that's the blood bin. This match being played under international rules, so they can make 6 interchanges. But that doesn't include the blood bin changes.
No hands there. We enjoy your life, but that's not going to rule. 3.
The players here from the Canberra side really coming up with a couple of mistakes in the last probably 3 sets of 6 with drop ball. Can't see, oh, just as he gets up now. Oh, not really getting up the play of the ball, Kennedy, but the player, Halifax player, was holding him down.
Come on, get down there, son. Get down there. Hey, he wants a loose head, son. That's a red loose head. Now, roll his head, son.
Dean puts it in.
Yep, out.
Big drive on from the Canberra team, and that is one against the feed.
Stand away.
So Canberra screwing the scrum on that occasion, and now it's Clyde coming away with it. Nothing going right for Halifax in the first half here at Bruce Stadium.
Well, that's pretty poor, the scrummage play using the... Oh, there's a mistake by Bradley Clyde, which you won't see every day.
Chris Chester keeping it alive, out to Tuolangi. He's on the 30-metre mark now. So they've had plenty of opportunities inside Canberra territory in recent minutes, Halifax.
2 in there. No, 2. 1.
They get the penalty here.
2 men in the tackle. Oh, mate, what was he doing there?
Stealing the ball. It was not a one-on-one situation as we have a look here. Definitely 2 tackles there. There's the arm ripping the ball out. Penalty to Halifax. Now it's Pearson out wide. Umunga lost momentum. Was in 2 minds whether to keep going or cut back in field. Almost spilt the football in the end. Now it's Dean again. The inside pass to his skipper, Harrison. Good tackle, though, by Hetherington. They're inside the red zone. It is Dean. Out wide it goes now to Chester. Chester keeping the ball alive, 8 metres short. Halifax still with no points on the board. Bit of pressure on the Canberra defence, and out wide Lightning's on his own, but he manages to get it into touch.
Canberra touch.
Plenty of pressure on Royston. Lightning. It will be the Blue Sox with the feed.
Well, this will be nearly 18 tackles in a row if Halifax can hold the ball. You see Royston Lightning had plenty of time to catch that ball. He'd be a little bit disappointed in himself. Bouvang coming through and putting pressure on him. But again, the Canberra side really have gone to sleep after getting away with 26 points to 0.
Get down, Canberra. Now roll it. Roll it.
Scrum about 8 metres out. Pearson. And it goes to Powell. Powell on to Baldwin.
With the way Canberra defend, they love to slide too on their line. I think what Halifax have got to do is got to start dropping players back inside.
Dio Powell, 8 metres out from the line. Tuolangi takes him on. The former Western Samoan Rugby Union international. Rowley waits for it at dummy half. Dean pushing it wide again. And over there is Chester. Chester got it over to Bouvang. He cut back in field, but the cover got across there. He's been told to play it. He was tempted to try and put the ball down over the line. That would have been a double movement. Kicking it behind the line now. A real chase here. The referee looks at it. He wants to have a look at it on the video. And Chris Ward, the video referee, has been called into play again. Halifax believe they've scored their first try. Great kick into the in goal by the Blue Sox.
Yeah, Dean going to the line here, getting a great kick in. Once again, Nagus trying to get the ball down. I think that's a fair try.
Can have a look at the onside as well.
He's onside a mile here. The referee saying they're going to look for the onside, but he is onside by a mile.
Yeah, you happy, son? Yeah, good idea, man.
Well weighted this kick. Ken Nagus trying to get there first of all. Couldn't make it though. And so
I think Gillespie scored that try there.
Wait for it to come up. Wait, don't kick it, please.
They're on the board at long last. Well executed to that try. Gillespie with the first touchdown for the Halifax Blue Sox. The front rower, 26 points to 4 now.
Yes, it's the only way that Halifax seem to be able to break the line. The defence has been pretty good from Canberra. That little kick in behind. I can't believe the referee called for that. He was right there. They've got to make a decision, and that was a fair try. Good stuff.
So Dean, the halfback, directing the traffic. Gillespie was onside, and he beat Nagus to the ball. 7 tries this year to Carl Gillespie. So he's now scored 7 tries in his last 9 matches. So he's in pretty good form, the front rower.
Canberra made a change. Quinton Ponga has gone on.
And the try was converted. So still a 20-point ball game. 26-6. Hetherington drives himself to the 30-metre mark. Clyde with a good run. Easy meters right up the middle for Bradley Clyde. To the short side, Stewart. Goes it to Kennedy. Ben Kennedy got on the outside of his man. Fona's on the inside. The second rower trying to get away from Tuolangi. Couldn't do so. He wrapped him up, ball and all. But it's the Canberra Raiders ready to hit back again. Croker to Stewart. Out wide now. Burnham. Numbers on the far side. It's not a great pass. Lightning comes back and cleans it up. He's left it behind. It goes into touch. So a bit of a let-off. They had numbers on the far side, the Raiders, but they couldn't finish it off.
And if they had finished, that was another certain 4 points on the board. Ricky Stewart getting involved again. Jason Burnham just got a little bit too far there. Hetherington come up with a missed tackle. Royston Lightning dropping the ball and it goes out. Let off really for the Halifax side. I think a message from Mel Manning has gone out to the Canberra forwards. Let's get going forward. Let's not be too fancy even though you're that far in front.
I'll play it. Stand up, lads. Give it.
Baldwin, 31 out from his own line. Umunga, pretty keen to come up and take on some of the hard yards from fullback.
Thanks, Ken.
Dio Powell had a stint with the Perth Reds a couple of seasons ago. Pearson.
All lads, come on, work with me.
He was an easy target in the end for Ruben Wiki on the halfway mark. Dean, the inside pass, they lose their footing there, and Marshall will play it. Dean again, under a bit of pressure, gets the kick in over the top of the fullback Nagus. He gets a good bounce in goal though. So dangerous from broken play is Kenny Nagus. This time though, they wrap him up. It's a good chase by Gillespie and also Tuolangi. Clyde just probing wide of the ruck. Looking for half a gap.
He's a fine player, Bradley Clyde. From a kick return, you'll find he is always the first player back there to take it up, and it really takes a bit of a load off the 2 front rowers to get back now, as you see Quinton Ponga taking the next one.
Ponga back from a bit of a breakthrough injury. Now it's Wiki through the tackle. Wiki got it over to Lightning, but he had overrun the pass. Wasn't a great pass anyway, and they were lucky that the ball stayed in the field of play.
Well, Wiki and Lightning certainly caused a lot of havoc for that left-hand side defence.
2 men in there with a hand. Break out. Same as over the other side.
You are allowed to rip the ball out if it's a one-on-one situation. Once there are 2 defenders in there, they cannot play at the football. So the penalty goes to Canberra and Ricky Stewart. Kicking his side into very good field position yet again.
Wait for it, Carl. Wait, Carl. Yep.
Walford turns it back on the inside. David Wesley is on there. Wolford at dummy half. Now it's Ponga. Good meters by Quinton Ponga.
And again
a penalty.
What's the other man doing there, man? He's not there for holiday, right? 2 men in the tackle. Not you there, man. No, wait. Oh, sorry, mate. It's over here. What do they want to do? I'll win like a stuffed pig. Yeah, I'll play some advantage here. I'll play some advantage.
It's like a stand-up comedy routine out in the middle with Brian Grant. Does a lot of talking. He's 19 metres out now as the play the ball happens, and it's Nagus running from dummy half, taking them on. The gap soon closed though. Michael Jackson was there. Wolford. Inside pass to Ponga. Ponga out the back door to Wesley. Wesley getting very close, and Wesley is in for the try beside the uprights. David Wesley, and that's the 6th try for the Canberra Raiders. They've hit the 30-point mark. It is now 13 points to 6, still 5 and a bit minutes remaining.
Well, Quinton Ponga has only been on for around about 8 to 10 minutes. and really is taking the ball forward. Pops a lovely ball there to Wesley. Still had a little bit of work to do here. Steps inside a couple of players. Umaga come over the last minute. It just doesn't manage to do it.
Yeah, it's those decoy runners too. Ricky Stewart there really taking the defence across and opening up a little bit for Quinton. But Quinton's showing lots of strength there. He's come back from injury, and this man here has got plenty of power close to the line, and he takes over Jackson and Umaga.
I think Jackson, if he'd gone low there, Todd, he probably could have stopped them around about a metre out. But as you said, Quinton Ponga, a little skill and strength, goes to the line. If you've got runners, mate, you can do anything on the football field.
Second try in 97, and it was converted, as you would expect, from close range by David Furner. So 32 points to 6 now. Big Carl Harrison, 33 years of age now, the captain, and his side in deep trouble. The restart by the Raiders. Halifax will need to control this football and keep the Raiders out now. Getting close to the half-time break. Tuolangi. Harrison. Carl has played 14 tests for Great Britain, 6 for England. A lot of experience.
Well, that ball was forward for dummy half.
Umaga plays it.
Halifax have made another change. Paul Heighton has gone on. I think coach is starting to panic a little bit. Using up a few of his changes. He's going to run out pretty soon.
Get your boots on, Donny, if he's panicking.
Make a comeback for Halifax and not the Raiders. 10 from halfway. Burnham.
One tackle now, man. Come on, work with me, lads.
Burnham filling in some big shoes today, that of Laurie Daly. And he's basically had a mistake-free first half, apart from a wobbly pass over on the far side.
And can you imagine if Laurie Daly and Brett Mullins were out there? Oh.
He's into touch.
Thanks, Michael.
David Boyle, one of the 6 try scorers.
You want the loose head?
Tuolangi doing a great job there on Boyle, bringing him over the sideline. This side will get the ball back. Just under 3 minutes to go in the game. That's a good tackle. Showed plenty of strength to bring him over the sideline. Not an easy thing to do. The Halifax side really going to throw caution to the wind and really try and attack every stage of the game now.
Pearson.
Okay, come up for one.
Chester at dummy half. This is Jackson, taken by Furner. Baldwin.
Jackson's been impressive. Does take the ball forward very, very good. Problem is he has no backup.
Harrison, 10 metres inside Canberra territory. Rowley did well to get back to the feet and keep the ball alive, but they're a bit flat-footed out wide. Now it's Chester trying to get through. Taken by Stewart underneath. Over the top it was Clyde. Final tackle coming up. Dean. Midfield bomb. Nagus takes it brilliantly.
Ruben Wiki takes out a player there, takes out Dean. Nagus is away.
Great return of the football again by Kenny Nagus. 30 out from his own line. Stewart. Croker. Croker's about 5 from halfway. Time running out in the first half if they want more points.
We go back to there. See, Ruben Wiki takes out D there. That is a dead set penalty underneath the post there for Halifax.
Well, it's play on. And it is Wolford at dummy half a metre inside Halifax territory. Switch of play. They go to the open side. Burnham brings a player on the inside. Furner. He's got the high one. Let's listen to the referee.
21, come on. There we go. Hey, come out. Mate, it's been a pretty good game up there. Okay, nice and hard. He stepped inside. You leave that part alone. Clear? Yeah.
Michael Jackson being penalised for the high shot on David Furner.
I don't think anything was intentional there by Jackson. He's had a fine game, as I said, in this first half. Probably their best forward. Just a little bit high. Nothing really malice in that tackle at all.
30-metre mark now. About a minute remaining. Pongia pops it out the back door. It's been picked up by Simon. Wolford with the step. Wolford with the try. They're in again. The Canberra Raiders 36 points to 6 now. And that is the 7th try in the first half of this Visa Cup World Club Challenge at Bruce Stadium. All smiles. Well, he really wasn't entitled to score that one. There were plenty of defenders around him, but he just put the step on and put the foot on the gas, and it was all over.
It certainly was all over. You see Quinton Ponga taking the ball to the line. Here he is going for a stride, but he just turns Harrison that around, and he had no chance of stopping him. Once again, go on, Brent.
Sorry, Gary. I'm just going to butt it and say the defence from Halifax is very soft. You see, Quinton Ponga there, I mean, there was 2 or 3 players, but he's still able to unload, and that's just been the story of the day. They're just not putting Canberra on their backs and slowing the play the balls down, are they?
No, they're certainly not. But the big thing when Quinton did go forward there, the ball did roll out off the back of his leg, and then Wolford was there to pick the ball up as he kicks for goal.
Sends it through the uprights. So as the half-time siren sounds, what about the scoreline after 40 minutes of football? The Canberra Raiders, they lead by 38 points to 6. 8 points to 6. The Raiders with the restart. The second 40 underway here at Bruce Stadium, and Umunga met by a couple of very heavy tacklers in Pongia and also Wesley. 20 from halfway. Can they settle into some sort of pattern? The Blue Sox, they were rocked from the opening minutes, and Paul Heighton plays it. Some of the younger players out there.
That's a great defence there by Quinton Ponga on Jackson.
Here's Harrison.
That's 5 now, lads. 5. David. Thank you, man. 5.
There's the kick, and they're going to find touch.
Bring it inside, please, man. I got a line here.
Once again, Dean getting the kick in.
What's he doing?
So the scrum's going to pack down about 15 metres inside Canberra territory. Well, let's get the word from the Halifax Blue Sox coaching staff, and the assistant coach is Nicholas Kiss.
Come on, get up.
Thanks for joining us on Fox Sports. Nicholas, what was the message? Obviously, you're disappointed.
Well, definitely disappointed with our first half performance, insofar as we need our first up defence to be a bit tighter and have a bit more bite.
I think you'd have to be pretty happy with some of the way that some players are playing. That's Jackson. Oh, Nagus is away.
We'll come back to Nicholas Kiss. At the moment, it's Kenny Nagus putting the foot on the gas again, and he's got a hat-trick. 3 tries to Ken Nagus, and after a minute and a half of the second half, the Canberra Raiders are in again. So it is 42 points to 6 now. We'll get back to Nicholas Kiss, but Nicholas, that is not the start you wanted. Stay with us. Let's have another look at it here. Some pathetic defence by Halifax.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing there. Umunga missing the tackle, and once the ball is in the hands of Nagus, it's around about a 75-metre chase to the line, and Dean does his best to try and get there, Craig Dean, but just can't match the flying fullback for Canberra.
So that is try number 8 for Canberra. Nicholas Kiss, thanks for standing by, but that's not the start you wanted in the second 40.
No, unfortunately not.
Well, Nicholas, I know it's pretty hard from where you're standing now, mate, but what are you got to do to try and fix this up?
Well, basically, like I said before, the first up defence, it's got to be moving in and having more bite and a bit more construction out wide.
I think a couple of the players that have played well for you today, I thought Michael Jackson's had a pretty fair game along with Harrison. Young Craig Dean does all right around the ruck area, but he does need some more help from his forwards.
Yeah, definitely so, but we are a young squad, and basically this is quite a learning curve for us and all over here. But you just can't make mistakes on the scale that we're making them time after time after time.
Well, let's hope that things get better on the remainder of your trip down under. Thanks for joining us, Nicholas Kiss, the assistant coach for Halifax, and the conversion was not successful. So it is 42 points to 6. Nagus with the hat-trick, and it is the restart now for the Canberra Raiders. Okay. Well, I don't know what Mel Meninga said at half-time. We'll find out pretty shortly as we talk to his assistant, Craig Bellamy. It's Tuolangi now. 20 metres out from the Halifax line. To the short side, they work it. Royston Lightning comes in off the wing to shut the movement down. Paul Heighton, 20 years of age, one of the youngsters that Nicholas Kiss was talking about. Now this is a veteran. Carl Harrison, Rowley at dummy half. Final tackle. Back to Dean. He was under pressure. It was a good chase from marker by Wolford. There's the kick. And Royston Lightning will eventually pick it up, 20 out from his own line. And they're there to meet him, Michael Jackson and also Baldwin. Craig Bellamy, Melbourne Inga's assistant at Canberra. He'll be pretty delighted with that first 40-odd minutes.
Yeah, yes, Greg, it was excellent. Obviously, we wanted to show our attitude to the game was good, and I think we showed that through our defence, which was excellent.
Craig, I think the best thing about it was your attacking, but also your defence. You got away to a great scoreline, but the boys are still defending well.
Yeah, obviously, Gary, we think we can score points against any sides, but like, as I said, we just wanted to show our professionalism today with our defence, and the guys have done that, and we're pretty determined now to do the same in the second half.
Well, I guess there's not much more we can say, Craig. Kenny Nagas, he thought he might have been away for try number 4, but it's an awesome green machine back in action at Bruce today. Craig, thanks for your time and best of luck for the remainder of the World Club Challenge.
Yes,
thanks very much, Greg.
You're loose and feed, lad.
So half a chance there. Burnham, the inside pass, just a shade forward was the ruling.
Shade forward? It was about 1.5 metres forward, if that's a shade.
Yeah, that's what I call a shade.
Fair enough.
A pair of sunglasses. Now it's Umaga, up from fullback. 9 from halfway.
That's what's really has hurt the Halifax side, is that inside ball all day long, Greg, that every time they turn it back, they've made plenty of yards up in the middle.
Stand away. Wait, Rick. 2. Thanks for your help.
Dean calling the runners. And on the inside, he's got Paul Heighton.
David, thanks for your call.
No way through there, though. Great Canberra defence around the ruck. Marshall. Couple of metres inside the Raiders' territory. Switch of play. But again, the Raiders had no trouble shutting down the movement. Dean plays it. Rowley gets the kick in. David Boyle picks it up. 8 or 9 metres out from his own line. The chasers are there, and Boyle stepping on the inside will eventually go to ground. The man that kicked the ball did the tackling, Rowley. This is Kennedy.
Let's have a look at it out here. Wide, fellas.
Wolford at dummy half.
No good, I'll get some advantage out of it, though. Come on, Carl, got to help us, lads. 2, that's better.
12 from halfway. The inside pass. And Wesley almost to halfway. Wolford from dummy half was going to have a run on his own. Eventually got it out the back line, and standing out there was the second rower, Furner. He was taken by Powell. Stewart. Wickie with the thin. Ruben Wickie heading for the try line. Umaga shut him down on that occasion, but they're on the final tackle now, and Wolford gets it to Stewart. Stewart to Burnham. Numbers on the far side. It is 3 on 2. They cut back in field, and it is Jason Croker that scores the try. He'll be delighted with that. Has sat out about 11 weeks of the Telstra Cup in the Australasian competition because of injury. Only his second match back, and he's on the score sheet for the first time in 97.
Be happy with that, but that goes down to Ricky Stewart once again, looking like he's going to throw the ball inside and pops it on the outside. Then it was just straight hole running. Bradley Clyde does a magnificent job there, and Croker really goes unopposed underneath the post virtually. It goes right back. You see the guy get out of dummy half here at Woodford. Ricky just sort of folds across the paddock, but the sliding defence of the Halifax side, they've got to go up. They've got to make sure they commit somebody or take somebody in defence.
Croker with the touchdown just to the left of the uprights. 46-6. Kick to come. Handy position for Furner. The flags are up. So they're nearing the half century. 48 points to 6 now. Brad Todd, nothing wrong with the Raiders start to the second half.
No, it's been a great start, a sensational start. No wonder Melbourne is winking at me all the time. But listen, I just think those play the balls from the Canberra Raiders are just far too quick for Halifax. They haven't got time to set their defence, and they're getting a great roll on. And their defence, well, I say defence, there is no defence out there from Halifax. It's like touch football, and Canberra are really enjoying themselves.
Michael Umaga did a magnificent job before bringing down Ruben Wickie. When he didn't make a break again, it was Ricky Stewart's long ball out to Wickie. Big right-hand fan really put them under a lot of pressure.
So the best tackles, Halifax 20 to Canberra's 3. That's been the story of the day. They're just not committing themselves. Their first up tackles Michael Jackson, he's still trying. He's about 12 from halfway. Now this is Marshall. Richard Marshall. Got it out the back door. They keep it alive. Gillespie plays it. Raleigh. Well, there's just no room for them around the ruck. When are they going to learn? I'd like to see them use a little bit of their South Pacific flair out wide in Tuolangi, Amoni, and Umaga up from the back. Now it's Royston Lightning to Nagus, and Nagus goes straight ahead. Taken around the bootlaces by Harrison. Play on, penalty. Harrison standing in the play the ball area.
See Harrison now holding on to Nagus's leg. He stands there saying, I'm out of the play, I'm out of the play. I think he might have just played on there instead of giving him a penalty. Well, here's Bradley Clyde kicking for the sideline. Well, not a bad kick for the big fella.
Wolford with the tap. Now it's Pongia.
Stand up, stand up.
Makes it to halfway. Interesting statistic as we see a problem in there.
I know it's marginal. You just have a quick chat. I know it's marginal, I know what you're trying to do, but as you come in quick, sometimes the judgment's out. Just make an effort for us, eh?
Oh, what can you say?
I don't know, Wesley take
control.
Yeah, Marshall Gus going a fraction high there. Wesley looking up the referee said, hey, that's not supposed to happen, and gets the penalty.
Kicks in general play, Halifax 14, Canberra nothing. So Canberra haven't had to use their kicks in general play. They've been able to score tries from just about any area of the park. Halifax have had no other option but to kick on the final tackle. Now it's Wesley inside the Halifax red zone. 19 metres out, right in front of the uprights. Ricky Stewart, the switcher play to Wolford. Wolford to Ferner. Ferner, he's made it to the 10-metre mark. Burnham, Clyde, over it goes to Croker. Oh, simple stuff in the end. So Jason Croker has got a double. He's just checking to see if he grounded the football. He wants to have a look at it on the video replay. Jason Croker, really, it looked as if he was just trotting through the gap.
Once again, you see that Tuolangi really holding off. Thought the winger might get the ball here. Oh, this will be an interesting one. Oh, well, I know he's got the ball down, but whether he had control the last second, Tuolangi just coming over the top there. I just need the end-on version. I think he might have dropped the ball.
Video referee called on here, and he's got a bit of a tough one. Looks to, oh, did he place the downward pressure before the ball hit the ground? Waiting for the decision. It's on its way. No try.
Time back on.
Croker thought he had a double.
He didn't really look that confident, though, did he, Greg? When he walked back, he said, oh, well, if I get it, I get it. But I'm not real sure if I did get that ball down.
I guess when you lead by 42 points, you don't really sweat on decisions like that, do you? So 22 metres out from their own line, Halifax.
It was good for Brian Grant to use that video replay.
That's what it's there for, when you're not certain.
Well, not certain. He should use it, and that's what he did. Good decision. Big Carl Harrison taking the ball forward there.
Rowley at dummy half, out to Dean. There's a line-up out wide. Canberra sliding defence, getting across there now, though. Pearson, and Pearson losing the football, and it's play on. So it's back in the hands of the Canberra Raiders, and Bradley Clyde stepping his way up over halfway. Moana is on there. Stewart to nobody, picked up by Burnham. Quick hands, great hands, and now it is Nagus. Nagus down the touchline, kicking on the inside. The chase is on, and Nagus won the race. It's another try. Kenny Nagus has got 4 tries.
I think Michael Jackson has pushed him on to get the ball.
Great skills by Ken Nagus, though. He knew the fullback was coming across, so he said, I've got a kicking game as well.
Great hands by Jason Burnham. The ball, not really sure. Ricky Stewart wasn't sure who the ball was going to, but the hands from the Canberra side. This is real good skill here. Watch this. The ball bounces up for him beautifully. He catches, passes. Ruben Wiki does a magnificent job. Look at that for a ball. Nagus juggling it. He looks around going, well, I'll have a go here. I'll do the old chip over and chase. Roosted Lightning flying through the inside there. He trips. Just watch Jackson. He just might give him a push in the back. Then he pushes him in the back to help him score the try.
I wonder if Kenny said thank you.
Well, here we...
David Ferner, 6 from 9 today. 12 in from touch. Trying to add the extra 2, not a bad attempt. He sends it down the middle. So on a day when the Australian cricketers hit back in the first test against the English, they've scored a half century here at Bruce Stadium. 54 points to 6. It is the Canberra Raiders over the Halifax Blue Sox.
Well, there's still plenty of time left on the clock for Nagus to get 5.
I thought you were going to say for Halifax to come back.
Michael Umunga, he scored 5 a couple of seasons ago. Maybe Kenny thinks, well, I might get out there and just match him.
10 tries to 1. Yet another restart by the Canberra Raiders. Halifax 10 out from their own line. And this Canberra defence is relentless today.
It's been the aspect why they are going so well in the last 6 or 7 games they have played.
Martin Moana, former junior Kiwi.
Off hand, out of it.
This is Tuolangi. Rally from dummy half. Got the pass away. They continue to keep it alive. This is Moana. Not a bad passage of play from Halifax. Now it is Dean. Dean with the dummy. Got the inside pass away, but Nagus was in there to shut it
Great
down.
defence.
Ball and all tackle from Kenny Nagus. But Halifax kicking for the corner. Lightning. They put it down. Still lying loose on the ground, and they'll play the knock on.
There, Canberra. And then that one, yeah, but he didn't get any advantage, did he? Okay, think about it. Canberra knocked on. I gave him 6 more. They couldn't get the advantage. Scrum.
Well, we'll think about it as we have a look at it here.
This is just great refereeing stuff here. Lightning makes the mistake. The ball goes forward. As the referees did say, Brian Grant, they had no control of it, Halifax. So we'll go back and give them the advantage of a scrum.
Put in there.
Dean puts it in. Inside the red zone. Moana from dummy half. He's only about 4 metres out from the line. Playing for pride here, the Halifax Blue Sox. They go wide early in the tackle count. Pearson over to Tuolangi. Tuolangi for the corner.
Stand up and play. Here, 2. Play 2 there.
Not over. Umunga thought he was. He's appealing to the referee, and now Umunga knocks on from dummy half, and he gets the penalty.
Foot in there.
There was a foot in to play the ball.
Let's get it clear. Wait.
Halifax haven't got much to smile about, but the referees certainly put a smile on his face.
Even the player there has kicked the ball out. What he can actually do is walk back 10 or 15 metres. The Canberra players must stay on the line because that's where the penalty was given. There's no need to kick it out.
Dean out to Harrison standing wide. Taken by Burnham underneath. Over the top was Ferner. Charging at the line now. This is Michael Slicker, only 18 years of age, and he's only about a metre out from the line.
2 men. 1, 2
Another
men.
penalty.
No tap until I tell you.
Will they take the 2, Brent Todd?
I'm getting out of your age.
Right. I think I'm actually going to back Halifax to go over here. I think they're going to score a try.
Okay, it's Dean. Long ball over to David Boubang. He has to cut back in field, but he ran right into Ruben Wiki. Ball with a dummy half. Taken by Burnham underneath. Over the top was Pongia. Now it's Rowley a dummy half again. Out to Dean. Dean calling the runners on the inside, and then they go wide. Pearson can't find a way through. Taken by Jason Croker. That's the 10-metre mark. Still inside the red zone. Tuolangi backing himself. Getting very close to that far corner. 1 metre out. They're a little flat-footed now. They charge onto the ball. And it is Marshall. Well, it's gone out. of their control now, and Nagus has to run it out of the in-goal area, and he has no trouble doing that whatsoever. So they fail to score the try, Halifax, and now it's a Canberra Raider. Ruben Wiki, 12 out from his line.
Just how good is the Canberra defence? You have a look here close to their line, and what about that hit from Ruben Wiki?
What about you back in Halifax to score a try? I'm going to come and collect the money.
Just trying to make them feel good. I mean, I'm sitting about 3 feet away from all the reserves and the coach, and they're not that happy.
Bradley Clyde from dummy half, throws a dummy. Got a great ball on the inside. Chance here again. Oh, that was almost another opportunity for a runaway try, but Royston Lightning overran Prittis in the end. They go to the left, and they've got a big lineup out there. Quentin Pongia out to Furner. Furner trying to keep it alive. He gets it out the back door. It's still lying loose out the back, and Croker has to go back and pick it up. Flirting with that far touchline, but he did the next best thing. He took the tackle. 8 metres inside Halifax territory. Ricky Stewart. Stewart able to get it away to Furner. Furner with the kick over the top. Finds some open spaces, but Dean is going to get back there, or is he? It's been towed through. Umaga can't control. It's still lying loose on the ground.
First Halifax, then Canberra. First Halifax, then Canberra. Stay with me, Big Carl, please. They want the loose head, lad.
30-metre mark as we have another look at it.
Well, there's the mistake by Dean. And now coming up, Umaga makes another mistake here. And Canberra really lucky to get the ball back at all. Umaga, I think, has been probably their best player. He's had a lot of work to do at the back there. He's had players running at him all day long.
Outside foot. Roll it there, Rick. You know,
if not the best player, certainly the busiest on defence.
Yeah. It's been like a policeman directing traffic.
Canberra making a couple of changes. DeVico and Hetherington gone on. Dave Furner come off.
Now it's Nagus. Nagus is going to get 5 tries. He's having a field day. Now remember, this day is Kenny Nagus Day in the ACT. 58 points to 6.
Some pretty poor defence there by the Halifax outside backs. Very, very disappointing. They had Nagus pinned up there. Chester Lee just gets on the outside of him. That is terrible defence. Only one player there. 2 players in and make the tackle, and then another player comes across a great left-hand fend there. Probably the lock coming across there and cover, but absolutely getting no help from any of his other players. He looks at them, he blows up, says, "Where are you from the base of the scrum? Get over here and help me."
And there's nothing better than being a front row, being a forward, popping your head out of that scrum and looking up and seeing someone like this score a try. He looks as though he's doing it so easy. He looks as though he's got so much time and he's got so much pace, hasn't he? What a class player. 5 tries. That's only something that I could ever dream about.
You dreamt about putting your head out of the scrum and seeing someone score on the try.
Used to happen all the time when we played you at Balmain. Yeah. You know that.
So Royston Lightning taking over the kicking duties with David Furner having a spell on the interchange bench. Not a bad attempt. Off the uprights and waved away. So the scoreline remains 58 points to 6. We mentioned pre-match that the fullback, Mike Umaga, the fullback for Halifax, set a EuroLeague record scoring 5 tries against Workington last year. Well, Kenny Nagus, I'm sure, setting a World Club Challenge record today with his 5 tries and still 18 minutes remaining in the match. Ricky Stewart, he'll be getting sick of kicking off. And finding touch over on the far side as well. Halifax will get the feed into the scrum.
Big Carl, where is he, son? Your mark, lad. We'll work around you.
10 out from the Halifax line. 20 metres in from touch.
The one on the floor in there. Put in the floor. No wait. No wait. No wait.
11 tries to 1.
Outside foot, son.
Halifax find themselves in possession after the scrum.
Get out of there. Play on.
But at the wrong end of the field. Pearson. Pearson will get up and play it. He's been a prolific point scorer in his career. Martin Pearson, over 1,500 points in his career. Already 110 or 112 now this season. But no opportunities to show his attacking flair today. He's been shut down. And to think that leading into the match, he was probably preparing to face up to Laurie Daly. Probably thought Ollie's Christmases came at once with no Daly in front of him. But the replacement, Jason Burnham, has done a fine job in the 5'8" role for Canberra today. Final tackle coming up, and now Halifax looking to find the touchline on the far side with the grubber kick, but it went out on the full.
Yeah, Rowley blowing up there saying that it touched somebody. Problem is, again, their last options, their last tackle just not coming off whatsoever. They either got to take the ball line, chip over, try and regather, do something. Just kick it out, giving them the ball, it's a waste of time.
Burnham finds Kenny Nagus.
No.
Here we go again. Nagus on the fullback, no problem. He's got 6 tries. Oh, Kenny Nagus will be saying, how good is this? How long has it been going on for? They've hit the 60 mark, 62 points to 6. The Australian fullback made them look second-rate.
Every time he touches the ball, he scores tries, and this is just unbelievable stuff here. Burnham just going to the line, giving a short ball. Again, that slide defence. Once you give this guy 1 yard, Michael Umunga, he's too far back. He can't do much about it. A desperate dive there, but hasn't this bloke had an outstanding game?
Yes, Luke DeVico, the big front rower. He was the decoy runner there. Actually, 2 front rowers. Quinton Ponga involved, and well, I'm getting a bit of a rap, aren't I? But anyway, just watching come through, and it's been the story of the day for the Canberra Raiders. They've used those decoy runners very well. And, well, what can you say about this bloke? When he gets hold of the ball, look at him. He's looking for players. There's players coming in and out. Oh, no, I'll do a little bit of a step. Go in for 6 tries. Tremendous game, and, well, he's got to be Canberra's player of the match, hasn't he? And
do you think so?
Well, I don't know, you know. It's a tough call, but we'll give it to him.
Okay.
It was converted by Royston Lightning as well, so 64 points to 6, and there's still 15 minutes remaining.
That's a worry for the Halifax side if Nagus does get the ball any more in this game. Or someone tackle him.
Mate, I'll run out there and tackle him if you want me to.
Doesn't get any easier for Halifax either. Next weekend they come up against another top 5 side in the Australasian Telstra Cup. Talking about Canterbury. And then in the 3rd round they come up against a side called the Brisbane Broncos. Life was not meant to be easy.
That's one thing when I was talking to Mal earlier on about his side. He said the start of the season, those few losses really, the players, he didn't change anything at training. He just kept everything the same. It was the players that had to stand up and be counted. Well, they've certainly done that today. In the last 4 or 5 weeks, they've come on in leaps and bounds. And as I keep saying, imagine putting Laurie Daly and also Brett Mullins out there as well. How strong are the Canberra Raiders? They are real contenders.
Moana on the far side. Halifax kicking. Ken Nagus, and the crowd roars as Nagus. They don't want him to score from there, do they? Oh, 18 metres out from his own line.
Well done, Jacko. Well
He's only human after all. He can get tackled occasionally. But now they go wide, and this is Royston Lightning. Lightning, has he got the pace to get away? Kicking on the infield. Poor old Mike Umunga, the fullback for Halifax, says, what's going on here? Every time I look around, there's the green machine coming at me. Ruben Wiggy popped the ball up. I don't know how he got the pass away, but it went forward, and they put it down. So from one end of the field to the other, this is exciting rugby league, Canberra Raiders style. The green machine, well, they're firing on 8 cylinders today, no doubt about that. The big V8 is roaring at Bruce Stadium.
Oh, great tackle there by Mike Umunga. Again, the ball just popped back up, and just a little bit unlucky there for Lightning. That would have been another try. But where was Kenny Nagus? He was back on his 22 having a rest. Get up there, Kenny. Get 7.
Hey, what about the bloke that tackles him? He'll be an absolute genius as well. He'll get a round of applause. Someone's got to tackle him.
Tuolangi played it. Back it goes now to Baldwin. Michael Slicker. He made his debut as a 17-year-old in 1995. Well, I hope these young kids in this Halifax team can rebound from this hiding today. It's been a lesson in rugby league for them. Harrison popped it back, picked up by Martin Moana. Moana trying to step his way through and does a good job, the former Auckland Warrior. Played for the Warriors in 95 before moving to Halifax. Kicking again, looking for the touchline, and I guess that's the best option for Halifax, just trying to slow things down. packing down the scrum. There's still over 12 minutes remaining. And the scoreline, 64 points to 6.
I disagree with you, Greg. They had another player on the outside there. I think it was a better option. And if you look at the scoreline, they're better off running the ball. But rather than giving back to Canberra, we get a scrum that's 20 metres in, a full back line, 7-on-7, mate. Anything could happen from here.
At least with the scrum, it's going to take the seconds tick away.
Canberra making a change. Bradley Clyde's coming off to a round of applause from the crowd. Great game from Brad.
No wait. Now, feet.
Stewart puts the ball in and takes it out.
Stand up, no hands, mate. Stand up. 21.
So they're 20 metres out from their own line.
You know, we give Kenny Nagus a lot of raps, but Ricky Stewart has been a real force out there.
Excuse me. Hey, I'm in control here. I don't want anyone else. Ricky, control that man.
Not seeing eye to eye at the moment.
Mr. Rowley. Hey, sir, come on, son, have a chat. How many did you get in first, do you think? Only one? You got both? You missed with both. They're all fair enough. It was silly anyway. But listen, mate, it's going to be 3 weeks here. The game's going to be played properly. We're not going to have any of that sort of nonsense. I'll have a chat to the other lad about coming back too. But you had 2 hits, both of them missed. I don't want you to have any hits. Is that fair enough? Thanks, man. Now, 9? Yeah, okay. Mate, that's right. Yeah, he said he missed both, but he certainly got 2. All right. But, mate, when the whistle blows, you just put yourself right at the edge of the cliff if you want to come back. Not worth it, eh, son? No better.
Oh, well, I think that's pretty clear cut. Rowley says he had 2 swings and didn't connect. 1.
Thanks, Cole. Check, lads. Cole will help you. Cole will help you there.
Back to the football. 16 metres inside the Halifax territory. And Hetherington straight ahead.
Lachlan Jackson just come over the top there in a bit of a high tackle.
Yes, they want to be a little bit careful, the Halifax boys. Can't afford to have someone sent off.
Todd Payton is on there from the reserves bench. Now it's Pongia, the inside pass back to Tavico. And Tavico is about 15 out from the line. Looking for more. 64 points to 6 at the moment, the Raiders. They haven't finished yet. Switch of play. Stewart, he's had all the time in the world to do stuff today. And that's a better tackle on Croker, but they didn't hold him. He got up and had another crack at them. And he's still 15 metres out from the line. Tavico takes him on. Straight up the middle goes the front row. He's having such a fine season, Luke Tavico. Wolford waits for it at dummy half. Stewart kicking for the corner. And they're charging at the line. Who did it come off?
Has he forced it or not?
Croker got the ball down. They want to have a look at it on the video replay.
What are you looking for? Whether he's forced it. It's gone backwards.
Jason Croker looks a little more confident about this one.
Secondly, did he force it?
Well, looks to be off one of the Halifax players. Definitely forced it, but was that the second occasion?
Okay, so who's knocked it off?
Let's have another look at it here.
What you'll find it's come off the back of one of the Canberra players. I think it's in Boyle.
Who's the first one again?
I'm sorry, it's Luke Prittis going up high. And you'll watch the ball come down now. He jumps up, goes over top of Tuolangi, and comes off the back of his body. I think what you'll find then is Croker's right there saying thank you very much, and that's a try.
Well, did he knock it on though? He presses it there earlier on. It may have been a knock on.
Right.
The decision is on its way. No try. Little knock on there by Jason Croker before he placed the ball firmly. So Jason Croker, he scored 1 try and he's had 2 disallowed thanks to the video replay. So the scoreline remains 64 to 6 inside the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, some of the Halifax players saying they're offside and they were dead right. The referee, no, the ruck area. Canberra side just getting in front of everybody.
And into the touch, Baldwin. It just hasn't been their day, has it, Halifax? Early in the tackle count, flirted with the touchline. He was an easy target. They threw him over the chalk, so the scrum will pack down.
Payton doing a great job once again with Ruben Wicking. You got those two big men there, and they'll get rid of you very quickly. He tries to get the ball back in. There's just no chance whatsoever. But again, Halifax really had no one there to take the ball forward, and that's what Canberra's done so well today. Their forwards have really gone forward and made it easy for their backs.
Kick and chase now by the Raiders, turning them around. Bouvang being asked to go back, and well, Royston Lightning won the race, but the ball beat him over the touch-in goal line, and it's going to be a restart back on the 20. That was almost another try to the Canberra Raiders.
Well, when you're this far in front, you can try those little chips over from the base of the scrum. A good little kick there by Ricky Stewart. And he really has answered his critics today. I think he's probably one of Canberra's best in organising and distributing that ball out wide to his backs.
Yeah, he certainly is. You can hear him from down on the sideline. He's doing all the organising out here. And whoever said that he should be cut should probably go out the dressing shed and give himself 30 uppercuts, because he's been one of the best players out here on the ground, and he is a tremendous little player.
And this is Tuolunga. He got it out the back door. Now, Luke Prittis is back on the field after spending some time in the blood bin. And Brett Todd, Luke Prittis, a hooker who played for New South Wales in the Tri-Series this year, is standing over on the left wing. So from the front row to the left wing, do you think Mel Meninga would have asked you to do that in your Canberra days?
There's no way I was out in the wing, mate. I was always in the middle there. I didn't have the pace to be a winger.
Well, Mr. Versatile today, Luke Prittis. And intercept! Jason Croker. This time they'll give him a fair try. Nobody around him, racing for the line, puts it down under the black dot. The intercept leading to the try to Jason Croker. So 68 points to 6 with the kick to come from right in front. They're going to make the 70 mark.
Well, Jason Croker just put himself in a position where the ball was just passed straight to him. A little bit disappointed for the Halifax side here. Go across and throw a big long ball. Chris Chester was the man. He just put himself in a great spot there. He just takes his time, says, well, I'm not going to drop this. I'm going to score a try. And he was lucky. He could have had 4 today.
Yes, well read by Jason Croker. They move up very quickly, the Canberra back line there. He saw it coming, and really, when things are going bad, they really go bad here. And, well, Halifax have had an off day. Jason Croker, well, just strolls over for an easy one.
If the ball had been connected to the outside backs there, Toddy, they would have had a chance of maybe scoring down the other end of the field. Luke Prittis was the only man back there in defence. He was playing on the wing, but he's about 15 yards behind everybody.
Yeah, well, at this stage of the game, you must take chances, eh?
Soul searching going on there, and there's a very happy Luke DeVico. The front rower said, give me a shot at goal from right in front. Royston Lightning actually went up to say, you've got to be kidding. And Luke said, no, I'll have a crack at this from right in front. So he's on the score sheet as well, the front rower. He can kick a goal. It's an extra 2, and it's 70 points to 6.
Well, that's what you see at training, the big front rowers having kicks a goal. They never really do that well, but did a pretty good job to get that one over the goalpost.
Umunga, fingertip control, taking that restart. And this is Slicker. Michael Slicker. Let's hope that Halifax are a little slicker in their next match against Canterbury. Got that for you on Fox Sports next Sunday from Belmore. After that, they head north to take on the Brisbane Broncos. Rowley at dummy half. This is Paul Highton, one of the Great Britain junior representatives last year. Moana runs straight at Croker and also Prittis.
Well, he's tried hard, hasn't he, Moana? He's trying to get these forwards going and that, but honestly, they're just lacking a little bit of that organisation, I think, and control of the ball.
The crowd will be hoping this doesn't go over the dead ball line, so Nagus can have a run. He's got a bit of work to do. The chasers arrive, and Nagus is about 8 metres out from his own line.
He was
Penalty.
on the ground. He was on the ground, and then you took it. As he's going down, it's okay, but not when he's on the ground. I want your men on side, Rick, before you take the kick.
See Martin Moana coming over the top there, holds him down. Nagus trying to get up and play the ball quickly. Martin Moana just holding on too long and stealing the ball at the last second.
So Stewart finds touch on the far side. Shot at Mel Meninga as he's still the Raiders still have just under 4 minutes to play with. but they've lost the football. So one try in the first half to Halifax, scoreless in the second half. Can they pull something back here and cross the Raiders line as the minutes tick away?
Oh, what about that hit from Hetherington? On Slicker.
Dean gets it out now to Highton. Highton, no way through there.
What's this? Oh, see you later.
Pearson on the far side. One underneath, one over the top. Great defence by the Canberra Raiders. Moana. Dean off the legs of DeVico, so it's play on. The front row, he takes them on. Luke DeVico, he's got Tuolungi to beat. Throws it on the inside, it came off Tuolungi into touch, so the Raiders will get the feet into the scrum. But Melbourne Dick absolutely delighted with his flying front rower, Luke DeVico.
What about the guy who was backing him up? Todd Payton, their front row, the young guy, he's only around about 18, 19 years of age, and he was flying up there. I'm going to score the try. Watch the big fella in cover. This is a great burst. Go, son, go. Big Mel's on the sideline. Gets away from one. Just lucky the ball gets tapped there. Oh, unlucky. That was a great run.
Taking his time getting into the front row, DeVico.
He's had a big run, hasn't he, Greg?
70 points to 6. Can they add to the scoreline? In a great position, the Raiders, and Ruben Wiki standing, just waiting to offload. Eventually he'll play it. 22 metres out. Inside pass, Hetherington. He's coughed it up and Halifax come away with it. Asa Ramoni, a Tongan World Cup player in 1995. Paul Highton, bounced out of one, taken by Stewart. Payton came at him again for the second time. Ruben Wiki, crunching defence on Michael Slicker.
Hasn't his defence been outstanding? Probably in the livery game. Big Carl Harrison goes for a big run up the middle, but no one backing him up. Probably too tired of making too many tackles.
Moana trying to step his way through. Highton. David Wesley, the tackler, to the short side. Final tackle coming up and they kick it into touch.
Well, they had 4 players there to pass the ball to. You can hear them run it. And that's what they've got to do. Kicking it out only gives them another option of scoring another try. You can see the tackles there. Unbelievable. Not using their vision at all, the young guys on this side. And the Halifax, that is.
Rick. 2 hands and feed it. Feed it, son. Now, come on, Rick. Feed it, son. Now.
Interesting to know that Canberra have made 189 tackles to Halifax 145.
And Gary, a good reason for that is the fact that Halifax have just been going one out and 2 or 3 Canberra Raiders are in there making the tackle, so they're all credited with the tackle.
Well, that's why they've gone so well today, is their defence. I know their attack has been outstanding, but if you defend well, you will keep a side scoreless.
Mike Umaga, 30-metre mark. Inside the final minute of this match. Tuolungi, Moana, he throws a dummy, eventually gets it over now to Pearson, but Prentice is there, Croker's there as well. They're counting down the seconds. All over here at the Bruce Stadium. Ricky Stewart with the wink and the nod. The fans waving the flags, and the Canberra Raiders were running hot today. At half-time, it was 38 points to 6. 7 tries to 1 in the second half. Canberra scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tries to none.
I want to ask you just quickly, how come the London Broncos can have more Aussies in it than, say,